going to talk about mines. Shane Montana reading the letters. She's putting me on blast. Whoa, yeah. And there's a road who has to get on. He's just an old outcast. Can we all say the O-N-E-S-O-N? Hashtag. Wait a minute. At last, it's a Doneson podcast.
I saw this female. You know, I live in Atlanta now, right?
Okay.
All right. Loving Atlanta.
Yeah.
Love the females in Atlanta. Just love the overall city. Just a good, wholesome city.
Okay.
Right? Yes, got to get that disclaimer.
Wholesome it is.
I just caught that up.
Oh, yeah, I know you did. Wholesome it is.
Oh, man. I saw this female in Atlanta run this red light. And I was already parked when she ran the red light, and she got out and parked her car in front of mine, mine, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
I said to her, when she got her car, I said, excuse me, have you thought about being a model?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's fine, huh?
Yeah. And
Watch out there now.
she cut me off. And before I can finish, she said, yeah, I do have the looks.
Look.
And I said,
And now that just got ugly to me right there.
yeah. I said, well, no, ma'am, I'm talking about a model citizen.
Broke her face, did.
The worst.
You broke her face, did you?
Wow.
All you heard was shattering. That being said, thank you for tuning in to the Doneson podcast. You can catch us every Monday. People can listen to us in the car or when they're at work or when they're doing whatever, cleaning the house. Well, some of the women I date are not cleaning houses.
God.
But hire somebody to clean the house while you wait outside where somebody else is cleaning your house.
Okay.
Or you can catch us every Wednesday on YouTube titled The Doneson Podcast.
All right.
Now, we do have a special guest today on our journey with health, and his name is Calvia Hill. How you doing, Calvia?
I'm doing fine. Glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Welcome.
Alrighty.
Calvia.
All right, so just give you a little bit about Calvia. He's an awesome person.
All right.
That's it. That's the bio.
That's it.
No,
That's good.
He's
That's good.
from
That's
Fayetteville, North Carolina, retired military.
Okay.
right? So he's disciplined and dapper.
All right.
Now, his last tour of duty in the military was after the Gulf War.
Okay.
He works with veterans in trying to assist them with different issues that they have in trying to establish benefits. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, Calvia has read an article years ago whereas General Colin Powell talked about his prostate cancer.
Okay.
Now, after reading this article, he immediately got the courage to talk about his journey fighting prostate cancer. Mm-hmm. Now, after having to deal with it 3 times, not one, not 2, but 3 times during the course of his lifetime fighting it. And he's going to be on the journey today on this podcast to help us. But in the meantime, can we start off with Gossip in the City?
All right now.
Gossip in the City is brought to you by Focus. Not the Ford Focus, just staying fucking focused. Moss Point, Mississippi. Black women have the mentality of slave masters
Oh, Lord.
when it comes to picking men in Mississippi.
Okay.
He has to be 6'4" tall, 220 pounds, have cotton picking hands, no bullshit. And he has to be able to work from sun up to sun down, and still come home to help me wash these goddamn dishes. Portsmouth, Virginia. Jason Wright from Portsmouth asked me, "Hey Andy, how do you know if your marriage is falling apart before it actually does?" I said, "Jason Wright, I don't know. Maybe when you have to use a pill to operate the crane, you can't lose your belly. You can't get out or be out on the weekends. All you good for is running errands. You don't want to be around in-laws. You start thinking about other women during sex. You haven't had your crop filters cleaned in 2 to 3 years. From the looks of Jason's face when I was telling him the shit, he knows why his marriage is over. Dayton, Ohio. I guess you know by now that I like to eat at all the fast food places, and I'm a sucker for women with blue hair. But talking about unprofessional, how I have to pull up to the speaker and be the first one that says hello. And you here, pull around for your total, please. What if I don't have enough money? You want me to put this bitch in reverse?
Pretty much.
Thank you, Andy, for Gossip in the City. All right, it's time for Doneson Trivia.
It's the Doneson Trivial Show. This is how it goes. You're asked 4 questions. You have to get 3 out of 4 right. If not, you're a dumbass. And here's your host, Rod.
I love being the host of the Doneson Trivia. I hope I can be for the next 15 years. That being said, only one person can do the Doneson Trivia per week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to pull straws in my hand and see
Oh,
who.
Lord have mercy. Here we go.
Uncle Rico, it's like you have to stop. Is you up?
I'm the dumbass.
Tell is rooting for you.
Yeah, you're rooting for me.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
All right, let's
All
go.
right. Question number 1.
Oh, Lord. Here we
Doneson
go.
Trivia. In which ocean is the Bermuda Triangle located? A, the Pacific Ocean, or B, the Atlantic Ocean? I can repeat that again.
Nah, I used to know that.
And if anybody want to help, 1 tap for Pacific Ocean, 2 taps for Atlantic
I
Ocean.
used to know that shit.
2.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pacific Ocean.
That answer is wrong.
I should have said Atlantic. I'm from the East Coast. I knew it was the daggone Atlantic.
Look how he set you up. Set him
Man. I should have said Atlantic. I'm from the East Coast. I should have known that.
Question number 2.
Yeah.
How many feet are in a mile? A, 5,280 feet, or B, 4,864 feet?
In a mile?
Yeah.
4,284.
You're wrong, huh?
Oh, well. I didn't do
5,280 feet.
for real?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be that dumbass again.
Don't do it to yourself.
I'm going to be the dumbass. I don't care.
All right, number 3.
Yeah.
Which country occupies half of South America's western coast? Is it A, Brazil, or B, Chile?
Brazil.
You're right, Unc.
Yeah.
You're right. Good job, Unc.
Nah, boo-hoo.
Hey, this one you can save face. But all right. Number 4. Which language is the most popularly spoken worldwide? A, French, or B, Chinese?
Worldwide?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the French.
That's wrong, huh?
Chinese. I know way more people that speak French that don't speak Chinese.
When you having the question, what you say?
French, A, or
Now,
B,
what was
Chinese?
ask the question again.
What language is the most popularly spoken worldwide?
Okay.
I was like, oh well.
I was thinking Spanish.
I'll say, oh well.
Oh, well. Dumbass me.
Ain't nothing wrong with it being a dumbass.
But I'm going to change it from dumbass to don't ask me.
I know that's right.
Shut up, Montana. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
En la ciencia.
You wrote me?
I wrote you.
It's just something about this later.
Imagine James Brown singing to this.
Montana
Woman
is
with two
the
words.
crazy.
What's your bad self?
Say it
Do
loud.
you want my opinion?
Come on.
It's maybe game over for ya.
What's your bad self?
Really, 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 really.
All right. So today's letter is titled Apartment 56 from PG, located in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Why all these folks right there won't try their name? Want to use the initials?
Initially, they embarrassed.
Yeah, it must be. Well, I'm going to roast their ass.
And the age range is 25 to 35. So it reads, my apartment number is 56. It's 420 friendly and everybody's invited. The only rules are that if I listen to you, you have to listen to me. What would you like to drink? I have white and I have dark. A roach clip is in the top drawer if needed. Tonight is he got right to it. Tonight is a nice night. You can see the shadow of the moon as it shines into the room.
For how long?
Everyone has emotions that they would like to share. Everyone has thoughts of the past that they would like to change. They think that changing the past gives them a better future. Subjects be like those who have done them wrong in the past, family, friends, but no one blames themselves for staying too long in those situations. If you have enough money, you have to spend enough time on planning the future or you will be broke. After all, this is apartment 56, no judgment zone. Everyone knows this. Come tell me about your challenges in life. Tell me about your issues. Very easy for me to listen and to take it all in. With a couple of shots and a few puffs, I can smell the smoke. I'm taking it all in to gauge, to see how effed up your life is. But my life is what it seems. Like life is more effed up. Like your life is more effed up than my life. This is getting interesting. Don't stop. Keep talking. Apartment 56, baby. Not all what it seems. I learn more when I listen. Doneson podcast. Talk to me. I'm going to smoke and listen. You high right now.
Montana, what you think?
He high as hell when he wrote this letter. I think apartment 56 may very well be a safe space, one that people can come to and be themselves and let loose. But he was still high as hell when he wrote this letter. I don't know what he's looking for. I think he's been through some things like we all have. At the end of the day, you know, he's comparing if my life is better than yours, but again, he's high. So I really can't give him that much energy. Sober up next time before you write in.
I know, right? Calvia, what you think about this letter?
Well, I would say that it sounds like I would agree with my sister there. He's on something. You know, because he made it about everything but about.
Yeah.
What you think?
He's just going through life trying to find somebody whose life is really just jacked up his head. Yeah. He ain't found him yet. He's still searching.
That's it. He wants somebody doing worse than him.
Yeah, he ain't found it yet. So you're going to be searching a long time, look like.
Andy, what you think about this letter?
I don't know from listening to this letter whether she was talking or the joint was talking. I think I'm going to have permanent frown marks from listening to this shit. I don't know what to think anymore. I think most of these people who are writing into the podcast are a little spaced out, but we'll keep listening.
All right, Oliver, what you think?
Okay, this person likes to smoke and listen to other people's jacked up problems. Oh, this letter, even as we speak, it's giving me the munchies. You could open up a place called Smoke, Listen and Munch. Got a nice ring to it. Come if you fucked up, smoke, listen and eat. Then get the fuck out.
All right. So we have Calvia here today because he's going to take us through this journey of cancer, right? And I think we all know of someone or somebody who has cancer, but we have a living testament here. Calvia, welcome to the show.
Greetings. My great pleasure.
Welcome.
Yeah. I hope you're not scared of tornadoes, but yeah.
Bring them on.
I got my Wizard of Oz shoes on. All right, so let's kick it off here. Me and you have talked before about cancer, and that's something just from the outer parts of the world. It sounds a little scary, right?
It does.
speaking of cancer, what is one of the most concerns about prostate cancer other than death? And I'm believing you're a 3-time cancer survivor.
Correct.
Prostate.
One of the biggest concerns, other than people dying, in particular dealing with men and men of color, is the fact that I discovered and found is that is dealing with not being able to perform, ED, better known as erectile dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that reason, a lot of men will not go see the doctor because they want to still be able to perform, and some just rather die than lose that pleasure of not being able to perform.
Wow.
Which is, in my opinion, is kind of a self-serving, selfish, and inconsiderate of the family, because you can survive prostate cancer if you catch it early.
Yeah.
Right.
And catching it early would encompass proper treatment, whereas you can alleviate some of the difficulties or residue that come thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, prostate cancer, if you look at it, when you go to the removal of the prostate gland, it's no more different than, I would say, this in my opinion, is a male hysterectomy.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with the major sex organ, which is the prostate gland, and on all the components that goes there with it. But even with the women having a hysterectomy, it's going to be a period of time that you cannot be involved sexually.
Yeah.
That's life. That's normal.
Right.
But dealing with some men, they don't want to deal with that at all. So, well, I just let it carry me out. If I'm going to die of something, I just die of that.
Right. My goodness.
Right.
That's the mentality a lot.
My goodness. Now, speaking of, if you catch it early, you said, were there any warning signs? Now, you've a 3-time survivor, right?
Correct.
Before even the first time, was there any warning signs that you had prostate cancer?
I would say there was. After I learned that I had prostate cancer and I began to trace it back, I would say that one of my experience was dealing with continuous urination, constantly having to urinate, going from place to place. Everywhere I went, I had to go to the bathroom, getting up nights several times, going to the bathroom. And you get into a habit of doing that, and you don't recognize it, and you think it's the norm until you go get a PSA testing or exam, or you have an examination from the doctor, and they discover that you have an enlarged prostate gland. And so, and there's other warning signs that you can find those in American Cancer Society. That's a pamphlet on Google that you can Google American Cancer Society and put in prostate cancer. Very powerful resource, very information, a lot of information about prostate cancer. I think every man need to read and find out.
Right.
And it goes in more detail about all the symptoms and signs and treatments that you can experience.
And when you said PSA, what is that?
That is the Pacific Adjective and Test, is where they go in. It's an actual test, blood test, that they draw to find your level of where your PSA level is at.
Okay. All right.
Is that something you have to ask for, or the doctor initiates that test being done?
Well, you can ask for it, but if you know to ask for it, usually most men will probably get a PSA done starting at the age of 40. I would personally, I would start at 38. I mean, you can pay for it if your insurance. Most insurance are covered at age of 40.
Yeah.
But you can, if you're really concerned about it, you can have a PSA done at any given time. You know, I would probably start at about 35. You know, you can request it, but then it's recommended every year that a man get a PSA. You know, you want to know where you set it at every.
Right. But did you have a history of cancer in your family?
No, it wasn't history. Mine came from as a result of the Gulf War. I was a chemical specialist.
Oh,
petroleum specialist. So that was the result of me having prostate cancer. Now prostate cancer can derive from a hereditary family or, you know, other different sources, but mine came through that.
Now, a PSA and a finger test.
Basically, rectal exam.
Right.
Do the rectal exam, and they can determine whether your prostate is enlarged. Now, it is said that when you get in the PSA, there's things you don't want to do prior to that test. You don't want to have any ejaculation. You want to give yourself 2 days from ejaculation or having sex.
2 days?
What, 2 days?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Shut it, Rob. Shut it. Shut it.
Because it can affect the reading, So you want to clear. Also, you want to make sure you have your have a bowel movement prior to the exam. You want to make sure that he's feeling the enlargement of the prostate gland,
and not
so you don't want no structure there,
right? And not not the food from Monell's. Got it. All right.
You know what?
But like, oh, that was a pork chop.
You know what? Now tell me this. I segue. Did you have any type of fear or concerns once you were diagnosed with prostate cancer the first time? Or any of the time?
I would say this here. You always deal with fear. My biggest fear was being told that I had it. Okay. And I was told that I had it on a Saturday afternoon in the summertime, in the fall, on the interstate. The doctor called me and told me, you got prostate cancer.
Over the phone?
Oh my
gosh. Over the phone. What protocol? And that was shocking when he gave me the results.
Oh my God.
So the first thing you hear with anybody dealing with the big C, immediately you think of death.
Yeah,
man.
That's the first thing that crosses your mind.
Yeah.
Death, because we know prostate cancer or liver cancer, any form of cancer leads to death.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how did you process that? Because who would call somebody and do that? But what were your next steps, I guess, to kind of start to work on my plan or how you were going to deal with it once you got the diagnosis?
My next step then at that time was to make decisions about who I was going to tell, when I was going to tell it. And he hit me right at the beginning of the holidays, so that was dead.
Yeah, I didn't want to ruin the holiday.
November, so
right.
And then thereafter, it was the type of procedure, which procedure I was going to take. So there's a whole lot of things that I had to consider. But however, I didn't know to ask the right question because I didn't have knowledge about what was going on.
Yeah.
So
right.
The first thing, having a medical background in the military as a combat medic, I just knew to start studying and reading. Okay. So when I got before the urologist, not the primary care doctor, not the internal medicine doctor, go to a urologist.
Okay.
Now they can do a PI. I would tell anybody, any male, when you're dealing with prostate cancer, it's your urologist, not your primary care or your general practitioner doctor.
It's a specialist.
It's a specialist.
Okay.
And of course they can do a PSA, but when you're dealing with that, it's good to go to your urologist and because they can read those numbers. They can tell you the pattern, the behavior of that PSA going up and down. So those are things you want to consider. Dealing with prostate cancer, deal with your urologist.
Makes sense to me.
Good stuff.
Yeah, you said something just then, because I have a friend, very good friend of mine, who has prostate cancer, and he just informed me of it a few months ago, and he said he had been battling it for a year and he hadn't told anyone. So what is going through a person's mind when they're given that information, and then like you said, you didn't want to tell anybody, and he's pretty much said the same thing. So what is it that's driving that to want to keep it to yourself? I'm curious.
Fear of the unknown, but it's really actually the knowing. See, we often heard the phrase that the greatest thing that you fear is the unknown, but it's actually the greatest thing that we fear is the knowing.
Right.
Because see, he know that the prostate or the cancer can lead to death.
Yeah.
And so, as a year he's dealing with it for a period of time. See, that's the thing about prostate cancer. It's a silent killer. It progressively gets worse.
Okay.
And so the sooner you're in with the doctor and find out what your PSA is, you need to act on it, you know, and
right away.
And find some way spiritually or somehow someone to deal with that fear so you can take care of it.
Right.
In the black community, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe 1 out of every 4 African American men would deal with prostate cancer or die from prostate cancer.
I've heard
That
of
many?
it.
So you do your number 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
You know, because sad in our community, we just do not go to the doctor.
Don't.
And why is that? Why is that? Like, sometimes I have a hard time getting my dad to go do stuff. He'll let it go to okay to worse.
A lot of reasons. Some of it goes back to slavery when they did, or different times they didn't have access to going to the doctor. They didn't have money, and in fear of the doctor going trying to kill you. It's a lot of. But you can answer that because I can go on and on.
What I found through my experience in the period of time, the 8 years that I dealt with it, is the fact that when I would go to the urology clinic, it'd be about 30, 40 guys in there. I might find 2 African Americans. This is throughout, and it amazed me. I found that to be true. And so that's what got me on my journey of sharing and putting it out there. And also, I just find that even the churches don't deal with it on a large scale.
Yeah.
In the black community churches, you don't drive that enough. Yes, they push breast cancer, but wait a minute, we got something killing the African American men. We need to put that on the billboard of the church. Let's talk about this thing. Let's really have men meet instead of handing out business cards and what you're doing in your brand. Let's talk about this brand of prostate cancer that's killing black men.
Yes, I just looked up a statistic from it's from February 2021. It says prostate cancer is the most common cancer among men, except for skin cancer. This year, an estimated 248,530 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Dang, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
And that's serious. But then in the black community, we pay it down because we're not informed. We don't want to talk about it. And most of the men deal with, man, I ain't telling nobody I can't do nothing in bed.
So is it a direct link to that?
No, it has nothing to really do with sexual activity. It's just the prostate gland is enlarging as we get older. That's a sign of aging.
Right.
So when it enlarges, the thing about it, once it's enlarged, you start experiencing the side effects. What you want to look at is the fact that, okay, is it getting enlarged? Is it cancerous?
Right.
And that's where you come in with your PSA and rectal exam. And then if the PSA is high, right at 10 or higher, then they want to do a biopsy. And then a biopsy, then they're going to determine whether or not is what they call the Gleason score. Now, the Gleason score was derived from a VA doctor. Came up with the Gleason score. And that's since then, I'm not sure how old that is, that's the one method that they use to determine in the Gleason score the numbers to what stage you're at, stage 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Right.
But ideal, if they catch the prostate gland, the cancer cells that has not protruded outside the gland, is pretty good.
Right.
But once you start getting stage 3 and 4, you could be dealing with some major issues because now we're talking about spreading to the lymph nodes and become necessitized, etc. But if you catch it at stage 1 and 2, you can almost survive it.
What would you say? What age should men start getting checked for this?
I was to start at least 38 if your insurance will cover it. But if not, pay for it yourself. You're going to urology, and then from there on, throughout the rest of your life, always get it. But like I said, to put to your point earlier, the prostate gland in all men is going to enlarge. But you want to catch it to make sure there's no cancerous cells.
So it is going to enlarge regardless. Okay.
But you can't assume it's just going to be cancer. But I want to ask you this because you brought up a really great point in regard. When I think about larger churches, just in my experience in Nashville, they have the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They have a lot of different months, but we don't hear a lot about prostate at all. Why do you think that is, that we don't talk about it outside of like the fear of men? Because even if men don't want to lead the charge, anybody can lead the charge with these conversations. Why do you feel we don't talk about it enough?
They don't have an interest. I'm going to just be blunt.
Yeah.
They don't have an interest until it happens to them.
Okay.
Right.
Until the platform of the leader, it happens to them, then it become important. That's a fact.
That's a fact. You're right.
That's a fact. And I've been around, I'm 61 years old.
Yeah.
And been around church all my life.
Yeah.
And I've yet to hear it today. But until it knocks on your door, then everybody come pray for me, that the pastor, whatever.
Yeah.
And I make no apology for making that statement.
Oh, no.
But it's a fact. It's evident.
Yeah.
They do not talk about it in the church enough. We have a prostate cancer month. All men show up. You need to hear this.
Yeah.
Bring in a urologist so they can explain it to them.
Yeah, make it real plain. The way you're talking about it now, make it plain, make it easy to understand.
Exactly.
Because I dealt with it. My grandfather had it. It didn't kill him.
Oh, wow.
He had it much later in life. I would say probably 60 or 70 years old. But outside of that, like that's been my experience with prostate cancer, and I've heard some of the statistics you've said. But otherwise, they don't talk about it. And this is a day and age with social media and all that stuff, and you see all these other months and stuff pushed. This is like the silent and deadly killer that nobody talks about. So, I'm glad we're talking about it today.
Yeah. You would think the NFL, which is 100% men.
Oh my God. Why is it not?
They would bring up, have a prostate.
Why NBA?
Yeah.
They maybe have younger players. It's coaches. It's other part of staff.
Right.
This is crazy.
That's weird. You think it's something behind that?
The government, B613, be quiet.
I really don't know, but I just think it's sad. But even in my family, I've heard nothing about it.
Wow.
uncles, father, 7, 8 brothers, never heard a word about it.
Wow.
Never talked about it until it knocked on my door and I'd hit it. And I said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And like I said, when General Coven Powell, when I read the article on the airplane and found out he had it, it awakened me.
Right.
I can talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah. And we need you talking about it.
Oh, man.
Because September is National Prostate Cancer Awareness Month.
It is?
Yep. That's my birthday month. Never heard this
That's my
before.
mom's birthday
never
month.
knew.
But dang.
That's my birthday month.
Really? Wow. So, look.
Wow.
Now, has your diet changed because of your diagnosis with prostate cancer?
My diet hasn't much changed. It hasn't much changed at all. I have a decent diet, but I will say this here: what will cause a diet to change is once you have prostate cancer and you're going through the procedures of care. Back to me having it twice, and it hit me in 2010, right after I turned 50 on my birthday. Bam! I get this news.
Man.
Happy birthday, 50. Prostate cancer. Treatment was in 2011, and after 2011, I had the prostate gland removed. Then 2012, the cancer returned. The numbers PSA began to double by the week. So it was aggressive. It go from prostate to aggressive prostate cancer. Then at that point, I went under radiation chemo treatment for 100 days relentlessly nonstop. Had to deal with that. And then after that, it was 2012, cancer was gone. And then in 2012, 13, 14, 15, it returned again.
My goodness.
And when you do a treatment, they give you the max you can get. You can't go back to that treatment. So they came up with hormone therapy. And I went through what I had shots for 3 years straight. Every month, treatment of Firmagon. That was a medication or treatment that I received for 30 days. And that wasn't an easy task because pain, swelling that you experienced through that. And my last shot was in 2018, July. And ever since after July, August, we test 3 months, August, September, October, November, the PSA came back with 0.0001, going to negative. No sign of prostate cancer, and it's been like that since that last treatment.
Amen.
Oh, wow.
So
Good job.
I'm not in
Amen.
remission. I'm not in remission.
Okay.
There's a difference between being in remission versus being totally free.
Okay.
No cancer cells found in the body.
Okay, so
Okay.
you still have something that's there. You're not in remission yet.
No.
So
Remission.
there's a difference between being cancer-free and being in remission?
Remission, when you think something in remission, it's some residue.
Dormant.
Think of residue.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But no cancer cells found.
For you?
For me.
Okay,
Nothing.
awesome. Okay,
Oh,
yes.
excellent. Amen.
Yeah.
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 No cancer cells.
Got a question.
Yes, sir.
So, if you have prostate cancer, then the doctors come tell you at stage 4. What does that mean?
Well, I would say this here. That's not good news.
Yeah.
Depending on your age, there's a lot of factors there. The older, the chances is slim to none. When I say older, probably 55 or 65 older. As my doctor told me, he said that I was 50. He said, now if I was 65, he would have told me just live with it. Because treatment is different. Your body reacts different when you're older. Going through radiation, going through chemo, all of those things. Just enjoy the rest of your life. I would say that. And that's why it's a silent killer. See, before you got to that point in the age, it was already there probably 5 to 10 years before you got to 65.
Yeah.
Where you could have done something about it.
Oh, wow.
Are there any preventative measures or steps you can take to prevent this?
The prostate gland, like I said,
Yeah.
it enlarges.
Okay.
It enlarges as we get older, as men. Now, people come up with, I would tell people, read the Cancer Society pamphlet on Google about prostate cancer. There's a lot of information there.
Yeah.
Because every individual is different. For example, even with the type of surgery you receive.
Okay.
You can be extreme obese, like the prostotomy. Well, you may not qualify for that. You may not be able to get that type of surgery.
Okay.
Then it go back to old scalpel and knife. Your insurance, as far as, treatment, it's so many variables there that would determine how you'll be treated with the prostate cancer.
Right.
Insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, or, how much they're going to cover, how much radiation treatment you can get, 30 days or 20 days or 100 days.
Yeah.
All of those factors play in far as treatment. Now, but like I said, the prostate gland is going to enlarge. Now, what you would do to enlarge your prostate gland, you got to be careful. For an example, like guys that lift weight, taking what is it take? Steroids.
Yeah.
Men about testosterone. Got to be careful with that because cancer cells feed on testosterone.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Me either.
Yes, Firmagon is a medication that, and that's what happened with me. After the second time, actually the third time it came back, removing the prostate gland and then going through radiation, but then the cells began to feed on my testosterone. The testosterone was high. So when those guys that do those steroids that want testosterone, you got to be careful because it could be your death sentence. When you get testosterone, but then the cancer cells start feeding on and start manufacturing and spreading. And before you know, it's metastasized. So throughout the body. So I would tell, guys to just think about it. When you're out there, lifting weights and increasing your testosterone. So
some are getting shots too, right?
Yeah,
some folks are doing it too.
Yeah,
That's what killed Lyle Lazato.
Oh right, the football. Yeah.
Them steroids and stuff.
Man, a lot of them, those wrestlers too. A lot of them are taken out. Man, do you want to leave anybody with anything as far as the listening and viewing audience on your journey through prostate, or those out there that saying, hey, I don't want to get checked out?
I will leave this with them. Go to the doctor.
I know, right? Yeah.
Go get checked
I'm just
out.
being simple. Just go to the doctor. Get an exam. Get a physical exam and find out where you at. Let them tell your number and see a urologist. Once you get your PSA, you can get a PSA through any doctor can get a PSA. Once you get your numbers then, and if your number is abnormal, then tell your doctor, refer you to a urologist. That's very important. Refer me to a urologist. Don't let your primary care, your internal medicine doctor, do not let them treat your prostate cancer.
Oh.
That is
or
an
a
area.
potential.
Yeah, potential prostate cancer. Let your urologist handle that because it's the urologist that does the surgery.
Oh, wow. So everybody, if you're a man over 40, you need to have one anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
Urologist. All right. You got anything else on?
No, cover everything for me, man.
Okay. All right. Montana, you good?
Good. Great conversation.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to the Doneson podcast.
Peace.
Like a